Hi, hello, welcome to Devon Monk's Works and Worlds. I think we are on Monday Monk 71. I'm kind of almost sure of that. I'm probably wrong. But we might be on 71. Welcome here. Thank you so much for spending a little time with me. I really appreciate you. Let's see. I'm going to cover the things that I usually cover. You're probably getting tired of me saying this, but I'm going to cover how writing is going, how knitting is going, and how things in Monkland are going. So how is writing going? It is going well, thank you. I am at the point with the outline for Wayward Devils, which is book 4 in the Souls of the Road series, that I should probably start the book and that will help me finish the outline. That sounds kind of weird, but I get to a part where I'm not quite sure how the rest of the book is going to play out toward the ending. I know what the ending is. Where I won't know quite all the steps to it until I actually start getting into the book and see how the story lays out. So I am about to launch into Wayward Devils. I've actually written a couple sentences just to kind of start getting back into that world. And then hopefully I will write that relatively quickly and I will be able to get that out soon, definitely before the end of the year. I'm hoping sometime in the autumn, so stay tuned. I will let you know. Also remember, this is the big news. Hellbent, it has been revised and it's a relaunch of this book. It's a relaunch of the whole Broken Magic series, which is the spin-off from the Allie Beckstrom books. You don't have to read the Allie Beckstrom books to read these. Anyway, those books are now all up for pre-order. It's Hellbent, Stone Cold, Backlash, and Dirty Work. And Hellbent is going on sale for 99 cents on July 25th. Maybe even a couple days earlier, so check around the 21st, but we'll see how the sales roll out, but by the 25th, Hellbent will be on sale for 99 cents and Stone Cold will be on sale for $2.99. And so please, if you want to give them a try, now's a great time to buy the first two at cheap. If you've already read them, you know the basic storylines, but if you'd like to read the updated versions because there's a new book in the series that's coming out this year, Dirty Work, then now would be a good time to maybe try the new ones. So that's the big writing news and books coming out news. My newsletter will be coming out probably on the 26th or 27th. In it, I will be choosing the winner for the little TV guy who still hasn't been claimed yet, and the adorable green alien slingshot that will go out to one winner this month. So if you haven't signed up for my newsletter, that's the first link down below. Sign up for it. You get maybe a monthly newsletter from me. I don't spam people. And there's always a drawing for a knit toy, and some random person always wins one. They don't always claim them. This is a thing, people, but they always get one. So do sign up for the newsletter if you are interested in the knit toys. Okay, so let's see, that's writing newsletter. What else is going on? I have chosen my next toy for the knitting thing, next knitting project. I'm going right on into knitting here. How are things with knitting? And it's going to be really cute. I couldn't find the pattern for it online. And so I did a quick search to see if the book, it's only, the pattern is published in a book, and I don't have that book. And so I checked to see if my local library has it. My local library had it. I looked it up, went down to the library, which is a short drive from my house, picked it, walked in the door, plucked it off the shelf, self-checked myself out, and was out with that book within like 15 minutes. So, hey, if you aren't using your local libraries, give them a try. You can also download digital versions of books and audios, and you can get DVDs. You can go in and get DVDs. They'll hold your stuff for you so you can just pick it up quick. We have lockers outside our library. I'm not sure what those are for. Maybe they're for pickup outside of library hours. I don't know. There are so many programs and things for kids there, but things for adults too. So if you're on a limited budget and you're thinking, I would like some new reads, check out your local library. They're so amazing. Okay, so knitting became a public service announcement that I love libraries. So I love libraries. Go check your library. Think of me while you're there. Okay, so let's see. Knitting is going good. I'm going to start that project soon because now I have the book. Okay, so that just leaves us to the last bit, which is how are things going in Monkland? Things are going great. We did another mod on our RV. We extended our banquette. The table and folds down, and the two benches at the table become a bed, and we wanted to make that wider, so we came up with a pretty ingenious way to do that. And then we have a jackknife couch in our rig. that bumps out, and we wanted to make that a little longer. And we came up with a genius idea for that too. And I will be putting those genius ideas in a video for those of you who are interested in how we're kind of doing little mods and hacks. Little 23-footer that we co-own with two other couples, and that sometimes we all go traveling out together in. And so we need room for 6 people to sleep. And we've come up with some pretty cool ideas to modify what we already have on a budget. So if you're interested in those kind of mods, I'll put a vid together soon on those. But yeah, so we did that. Also, this is just a little story about my morning. I'm putting together the newsletter, so I'm doing a lot of research and getting everything together. I like to put friends' books at the end of my newsletter, so I always am grabbing covers and links to friends' books and stuff. So I was working on that, and I would set our watering system, which we don't have underground sprinklers, so I'm just moving a sprinkler down our back bed that has ferns in it and fuchsia and all sorts of. And in our back bed, we have 2 old sword ferns. My grandmother planted them here in this yard when she was around, and she loved them, and they were out front. And I remember as a kid seeing how much she enjoyed those sword ferns, and she was excited how they were going to make a shady bed. Well, we've since kind of changed around the front of the yard, so we put those 2 sword ferns that I call the dinosaur brothers, because they're big, old, prehistoric looking. I mean, they're sword ferns, but they're big, old, prehistoric looking sword ferns. We stuck them in this spot in the back, a shady spot in the back, and they've just thrived. They've done so great. And next to them, I planted, we had a fuchsia bush by our back door. That was my great-grandmother's from her place in the coast, which if you ever read Ordinary Oregon, she had a house over in Ordinary Oregon, basically. And we used to visit when we were kids. And she had this huge fuchsia bush that was as tall as her house. It went up to the roof of her house. It's a big, bright fuchsia with the purple on the inside. And my grandmother had taken a clipping from that and planted it in our yard. And she had planted it in the backyard where it kind of blocks off the walkway. So many years ago, I had decided to move it. So I dug it up and I stuck it out back by the dinosaur brothers out there by the sword ferns. And just so you know, I thought that got rid of the fuchsia and it was no longer going to be in our walkway and it was going to be fine. But no. The original fuchsia just grew back. I mean, I dug that thing out with a shovel. I hacked it off with an axe. The fuchsia grew back, people. So now I have 2 fuchsias, which is kind of wonderful. Now I have 2 fuchsias. So the one out by the dinosaur brothers, by those ferns, I was watering out there with a little sprinkler, and it was one of those fan sprinklers. And just for like 10 minutes to give them a little, we've had some hot weather. And so I go out in the back I set a timer. I go out in the back to move that sprinkler. And as I'm walking up, I notice these tiny little birds. They're like the size of ping pong balls, and they're gray with a little bit of brown on them. They're basically ping pong balls with wings. Tiniest little peep peep little sounds that they make. And I've seen them around, and I think they're called, don't laugh, but I think they're called wood tits or bush tits. They're here in Oregon. I looked them up last time I saw them. And there's just a pile of them. There was probably like 20 or 30 of them. And they were up in our smoke tree, which is a tree right above the fuchsia. And they were zooming down into the fuchsia. And they're so tiny, like 3 of them could land on the fuchsia branches. And the fuchsia branches are the size of a piece of yarn. They're very thin. And these little birds would get on the fuchsia and they would wait for the sprinkler to come over and it would sprinkle on them and they'd hop down deeper so they could catch the sprinkler so it was going back the other way. And then they'd shake themselves off. They're having just the greatest morning bath. The whole flock, they would pop up into the tree and more would zoom down into the fuchsia and bounce around in the fuchsia with the sprinkler going over them. And it was one of those moments. I mean, there are these tiny moments in life that are just delightful. They're little moments of joy. It feels like I stood there. Of course I didn't turn off the sprinkler. I am not a monster. I just let the little birds take their bath and I just stood there and watched them. I wasn't very far away from them, but I think they were so busy in the bath, but I didn't want to startle them. And so they just kept popping in and out. And one of them was hanging upside down from the smoke tree. And it was just a wonderful moment, to see the birds just doing what birds do, but that they were finding joy in the water that we were just watering our old dinosaur ferns with. So I don't know. It's just one of those moments that I wanted to share it with you. I wish I'd had my camera on me. I would have videotaped it because videotaped. Shows you how old I am. I would have filmed it, but I just didn't have my phone on me. But I hope you have enjoyed a little moment like that. Maybe looked over and saw a flower blooming and thought, oh, that's great. Or, noticed a butterfly or a dragonfly. We have this big red dragonfly in the yard lately that just keeps going around in circles in the yard and zipping down for water. And we have, I'm all talking about water because it's summer, but we have these 2 crows who are nested not too far in a tree down the block from us. And they come over and put a stick in our water feeder, in our water bird bath. When there isn't enough water in there for them, they just stick a stick in it to let us know that it's time to fill it up again. And so there's a stick in it this morning. So I went out and filled up their bird bath. And it's just, those little moments that make me happy. And I hope you've had a couple, even if it's just like, smelled a really good cup of coffee, or I don't know, saw a cool looking cloud in the sky, or just enjoyed a little bit of the space around you. I hope you've had some of those moments too. And so Monkland is going well. We're going to go on a big trip coming up here real soon. We are going to take a jet boat ride down Hell's Canyon. I will tell you more about that when we get back. It is deeper than the Grand Canyon. It is on the Snake River in Washington, Oregon, and Idaho. And we are going to go on a heck of a boat trip, and I will definitely fill you in on that when I get back. But in the meantime, I wish you many small joys. I'll talk to you later. Bye for now.